Happy Sunday night. Whoa, I know y'all thinking, okay, it's going to be another recording because the last two Sundays, you guys, I had already pre-recorded the show and then we just jumped on and actually shared it with you all. So tonight we get to be live and this is a good subject and I have a good co-host to share this with. So I'm going to introduce him right off the top of the bat. So I need him to be in here with me. So let me tell you how I met this young man. As you know, we're all a part or a group of family of shows, Level Up Nation. And so as I came in, Pat Nash Talks, all these other talents and shows start coming in. We have some outstanding Christian music shows or whatever. Hey, Becca! That's the other triplet of the, anyway. So we have these family of shows, like we have a network. And so this young man came through one of the other shows. And when I tell you we instantly bonded as family, it's so funny because he'll come on the show, support me. He's on here all the time. If you see him, you'll be like, yep, he's on here. So he would always say, I would be drinking wine or something, and I might say something. Y'all know how I get. I might say something that most people would be like, did she say that? He's like, okay, time to get the red cup and popcorn. It's time to go. So tonight's show is a little special. I even wore red because of him. And I'm going to introduce some things or a concept. I'm going to do it together. We're going to do it together. That's okay. So right now, can y'all bring up Bertie for me, please?
Oh, hey.
Hey, my brother, I am a fan. I'm not one of those stalking fans, though. I'm not that kind of person.
Man.
I'm just a fan. I'll rock to your music in a minute. I think I have a video with that. I should have told him to pull that video. Anyway, I'm not going to go on and on and on. I want them to know what you would want my audience or the people who pop on here to know about Bertrand McKinney, we call Bertie. What do you want them to know about you before we get in this conversation?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, let me say I am on Pat Nash. I'm on Pat Nash Talks. Your boy that moved up in the world was happening.
Stop it. Becca says she's a fan too. Becca says she's a fan too, Bertie. Yes.
Oh, thank you. So the name's Bertrand McKinney. I go by Bertie. I am a rap artist, producer, co-host of Let's Talk Jams, Gospel Jams. Man, father, husband, newly grandfather. Daughter just had our first grandchild, so new grandfather.
Yay!
Love her God, love her life, man. And I appreciate the opportunity. Just thank you so much for having me.
Well, yay! I'm so glad. I can't wait to get in here and do a toast, right? So before we do this, Kim says she needs her red cup too. So she said, "Let me go get my red cup because it's about to be good, guys." We're gonna wait for you to get your red cup, but in the meanwhile, Bertie and I are about to toast. Bertie, you got your red cup?
Absolutely. Do I? Go on, show it to them. Y'all see it. Y'all see it right there. That's right. I don't know about that.
So, you guys, I am in Oklahoma. Bertie, tell them where you are right now. Right now.
I am in a place called Tylertown, Mississippi, a little small place in Mississippi.
So here in Mississippi, I'm in Oklahoma. But we're toasting with our Pat Nash Talk Red Cups because it's in honor of him. We're kicking off what we call Red Cup Talks, where we might get a little spicy sometimes. So this is going to be the PG version. But as we start doing it, Becca said, ooh, I want a red cup. We got you, girl. We're going to tell you how to do it. But Bertie had to be the first one to get it.
Right. That's right.
Kim said, I want me wait a darn minute. Kim is the spoiled baby sister of the group. So she's like, wait one darn minute. So we've been holding this under wraps because the Red Cup Talks are going to start once a month. We're going to kick it off at the beginning of every month. So he and I are right now on doing the initial kickoff. So thank you, Bertie, for inspiring me, inspiring my creative juices to get going, to know what to call this next dimension of conversations. Kim is still going, why do I not have a red cup? Kim, you are not the first one on the show. He, Bertie, you can explain to it later.
Kim, don't worry about it. You'll be all right. And look, it was special too. It was special. Like Pat does everything in class and style. So I go to the mail, right? Got this box waiting or whatever and stuff. I don't have an idea of what it is. So I open it up. Man, the red cup. Oh, let me show it to y'all one more time. One more time. Right there. You see it.
Bertie, I didn't want the plain one. I had to have the one with the little stem on it. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Yeah, it is washable, reusable, you guys. So we're not using disposable cups every time we're on here. But in honor of him, I wanted to kick it off, and I will have them available. And my guests will get one when they're on. They're only coming on once a month. So I sent it to him, and I'm so excited because I know you're a supporter. A lot of times you'll support out openly, you support behind the scenes. So she said, Bertie, you've been keeping secrets. I asked him to keep a secret, Kim. He can't, it's hard for him to juggle two women like that. That's not how he's made. He got one wife at home. So now he's trying to juggle all these personalities. Give him a break. You know what I'm saying? Give him a break.
She don't cut me no slack at all.
She don't. Well, you have to get Angee on her. Her and Angee, let them handle that. But so we're gonna kick this off. And I asked my brother, we had several subjects we could have spoken on. And trauma bonding is a tag word a lot of people talk about these days, right? So I'm like, I really want to talk about that. I have experienced it. I don't know if you have, Bertie. I think most of us have at one point been tied to something that it took a while for us to be loose from. And it was all traumatic and all of that. So I want to start out by defining what trauma bonding is, and then we're going to jump right into it. And Bertie know how this works. He is not afraid of having a talk straight from the heart. Matter of fact, he prefers it. Am I wrong, my brother?
No, you are absolutely right. Let's get into it. Let's do
it. So basically, if you guys look up trauma bonding, look, I did it. I left myself a note. I just got to find it. But if you look it up, I'm just going to go straight off the top of my head. If you look up trauma bonding or what trauma bonding is, it's usually an occurrence or something that happens that hurts you deeply. Oh, you guys, by the way, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. This is going to be a good subject that's going to help someone tonight, whether someone who is in it or someone who's trying to help someone who's in it. You know what I'm saying? Trauma bonding happens when a trauma or a transgress or somebody hurts you. And hey, Kelly, somebody hurts you deeply, usually somebody you love and care about. And they will usually cause trauma to you in some way because they may apologize and they may, a lot of narcissists will do this, apologize to you or somehow say it was your fault. And then you, because you love them, you stick with them and try to forgive them for one, because we should. But you try to get them to, you try to forgive them and move on. But it happens over and over and over again. And I was listening to Maya Angelou today, and one of her famous quotes is, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Doesn't mean you have to throw them away, but believe them the first time. And I think we mess up by thinking we're going to change them with our love and our empathy and sympathy. Is that coming across, Bertie? You understand what I'm saying? Trauma bond.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So how did you understand it before? Hey, Orlando popped in. He said, "Wheels up, red cup." Don't start none. I'll be having to have this on the plane from now on. Be like, hey. So Kelly saying basically a trauma bond is caused by becoming addicted to being abused. Basically, thank you, Kelly. That is pretty much the thing. And if I'm wrong, if I'm not wrong, a lot of that repeated trauma is caused by someone who doesn't acknowledge it, which some people call narcissists. They don't acknowledge what they've done. So, Bertie, can you, while I don't want to talk all over because I'm on here and I can go. Have you experienced that in yourself or with someone else that you love? You don't have to use your own personal testimony. I use mine. Sometimes you know people who are going through it or been through it, and you can say it without saying their name, like some things
Mhm.
that you experienced in that area.
Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you for number one, just for having this topic, because I know this is something that's going to help a lot of people. And
Hmm.
the way that you broke it down and you just explained it is, I'm learning something about it myself, like call it trauma bonding. But I mean, myself, I just call it being hurt. Being hurt by
Yeah.
a person. And I speak from experience. I do reach into like a lot of personal experiences, even when I'm doing my music. So I'm gonna do the same here. So the one relationship that I could think of where it really happened to me, older people might call it you were just whipped. The PG
Oh, yeah.
version for it. So but
You get
nah,
my red cup right.
absolutely. Yeah, let me. Ooh. So nah, I mean, I was doing everything that I felt that I needed to do. I was there taking care of her. She had I had a few kids, taking care of the kids, just doing everything that I could, and come to find out like she was dogging me. She was dogging me to the point to where it's like it really hurt, but it felt like it hurt more to leave. So I
Yeah.
sat there and I deal with it, like we'd have our disputes or whatever and stuff. I cry about it or whatever, but she still would continue to do the thing, and I couldn't leave. No, it was like I was just trapped in this relationship. And I pray about it and stuff. And, people always say, well, why don't you leave? It's not always the easiest thing to do. When you give so much to a person and you put your heart on the line like
Yeah.
that it's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah. Is it because you feel like it's a loss? Like when you leave, it's like a real loss. Like everything you didn't help. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't want
Yes.
to concede that what you're doing is not working. Is
Mm-hmm.
that part of it? It's like I just got to
Yes.
believe that this is the last time that this is going to happen because she can see how it feels to me. Been there, done that. And it's like then you start thinking, well, if I move a little differently, maybe that won't happen, especially if you get the blame for it, or maybe if I work
Right.
out, or maybe if I do this, or if I do that. With women, we internalize that thing. Like when I went through it, uh, my ex cheated. I mean, being straight believers and being like this.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of those brothers that would hug sisters in the church hug, the eight little pat thing, need to move them back. But I guess no one is exempt to failure. So when he failed, it became my fault. When's the last time you did some sit ups and crunches? Your stomach ain't flat. How do you
Mm.
start assaulting or disrespecting the person who did not trespass against you? You wonder
Right.
why does that person stay? Because you start to think, well, maybe it is something I can do differently. Let me see if there's something I can do differently or whatever. Until honestly, that's why I wrote the book, Bernie, Loving Yourself. Until you start loving yourself and realizing that you don't deserve that, and that because you are who you are, you will start to attract who you really need. But you don't know
Mm-hmm.
that until you start doing some internal work and start having some love and for yourself. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Evaluating who you are and who you're supposed to be. So it's not easy. So how did your friends handle that? Because sometimes that's hard to watch for people you love or you care about.
Yeah, actually, and it was the my best friend who had hooked us up. It
Hmm.
took him to actually say something, like not just to me but to her, and he said it in front of me, and it really clicked. So he basically said, "Look, if you're not gonna do right by my brother, then just let him be."
Yeah.
And he said it in a tone where it really resonated and stuff. He was like, "Well, this he's a good dude. He's a good dude, and you messing him over and stuff, and somebody else will be glad to have him." And it just so happened that after that situation, I wound up meeting who's my wife now. I
that
would actually, I would
that part.
actually go to her and talk to her about that relationship. We were like good friends from the get
I
go.
love it.
I
I
talked to her
love
about the relationship. So that's really how I got over it. Just saying somebody that actually saw me for who I was and appreciated me.
and that's what I was going to say too. Honestly, even before we start to help people realize what they can do to identify the signs and to break a trauma bond, when you're
Mhm.
watching that, it's difficult to watch. I think trauma bonding sometimes can be two people who are experiencing the same stuff that bond as well. And then, but one of them get healed. It's double hard to watch that person stay in it because it's a way out of it. It's a way of escape. Mm-hmm. So I know me, I'm not sure I'm dealing with it the best, but I'm dealing with the best way to keep my peace around me. I will love somebody. And if they're going through that, I do not hang out with them because it affects me. You know how people say, if you like it, I love it. I don't love it. And if you like it and you chose it, you're in it. But every time we come together, I shouldn't have to experience your trauma because I didn't choose it. So I will tell them, if we're coming together, we're not talking about your relationship. We're talking about you. How you doing? What is going on with you? Da, da, da. I know it sounds probably, that's the way I deal with it. I have boundaries. I have to protect my peace. I don't even watch the news because I don't want that in my spirit. I'm guarding my ear gate, my eye gate, everything. So I can't yoke up with someone who is allowing that kind of lifestyle. It just irks me. It disturbs my period. So I will tell them, if you choose to stay in it, don't complain about it. Don't complain about it, really. And if you need someone to talk to, find a counselor, find a licensed counselor, and be ready to acknowledge it, which is part of it. I know shortly we're going to take a break, and we're going to share one of my favorite songs that you do. And this is funny, Bert. I hardly ever take a break. When I'm on here. I go for an hour. Pat Nash does talk. And I'm going and going. And I hardly ever take a break. But tonight I decided I wanted to take a break and play the song that I jammed to when I heard it drop. And that you did. Yes, we're going to have to hear that. And then when we come back, I want to talk a little bit of what I have went and looked at and tell them how they recognize what a trauma bond is and maybe how to free yourself up from it and start to see what it really is and help yourself. We're going to talk about that. I don't know if the producers want us to wait for like 3 more minutes because they said about 20 minutes after. I never do it. So I don't know how to take that break. But I am keeping myself aware and letting you know that we're going to take a break. But Bertie,
absolutely.
When you got out of it, is that when you actually were able to see your wife? Or, I mean, because I have this, what would you call it? I have this thing that I think until you let go, you can't grab a hold. You know what I'm saying?
No, so we didn't. My like I said, my wife was she was a good friend of mine, and she actually helped me through the process. Because afterwards, once I left, and it really dawned on me, it almost took me out of here. Like, Pat, I was in a deep depression. Like a real deep literally became suicidal. So it was literally, it was that bad. And
it's serious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is. So I feel for anybody that, that goes through that, because I've been there before. And a lot of people will say, well, just leave, but it's not always that easy.
Man,
it's not always that easy.
You're going to be able to help me with it. It's ordained. And I really don't judge people, because I look back and I realize that's what I was in. It may not have had a title to it, but that's what I was in for religious reasons, for embarrassment of making it in, whatever it was. I stayed in that thing. And so I try not to judge anyone too harshly, but at the same time, because I love me now, I don't stay in relationships where that is being done and constantly being done, because my heart can't take it. You know what I'm saying? I think you become extra sensitive to it when you've been in it, and it can bring back all those memories. So it's like, I can't do it. Maybe if you like it over there. When you and I get together, we're going to talk about lunch. We're going to talk about setting some business goals up. We're going to talk about eating healthy. But we're not talking about, the fight you had last night, because you've been having that same fight for 20 years. And until you're ready to go and you need a way to escape, don't talk to me about that, because I'm not going to hear it. I'm just not. I don't want to hear it. I have a choice. But anyway, we're at 8:20. I think we're going to take a break for some music real quick.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Make the beat slap. He send over the track so I can speak facts. Opposition soul's intact. Trying to change your brain, mental impact. Now the this world Satan been whack. The devil is a lie, dude been capped. I let my light shine, the world been black. Taking back the music, dude getting jacked. Hooked on the Lord, my spirit on crack. Gotta move forward, ain't no turning back. Microphone check, talking 1 2. You know how we do when we come through. I represent the Father and the Son too. Roll with the Holy Ghost, what you won't do? You ain't rocking with God, then you gotta. You ain't rolling with the Lord, then you gotta. On demon time, then you gotta. You ain't a friend of mine, so you gotta. Sometimes I ask myself, what are people doing? What God do they serve and who are they pursuing? Instead of righteousness, they chose the path to ruin. You wanna see the Father, here's the way to him. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. We couldn't pay the debt, he had to pay the price. Gave his life a sacrifice just to make it right. The burden was heavy, he couldn't take it light. The battle's not ours, he had to take the fight. Showed up in the scene, demons were taking flight. Don't believe in the Father, then you can take a hike. Prayer changes things, what you praying like? If it gave a mic to help save a life. Telling non-believers about the way of Christ. His mercy and grace will always suffice. Represent the winning team all day and night. Microphone check, talking 1 2. You know how we do when we come through. I represent the Father and the Son too. Roll with the Holy Ghost, what you won't do? You ain't rocking with God, then you gotta. You ain't rolling with the Lord, then you gotta. On demon time, then you gotta. You ain't a friend of mine, so you gotta. Microphone check, talking 1 2. You know how we do when we come through. I represent the Father and the Son too. Roll with the Holy Ghost, what you won't do? You ain't rocking with God, then you gotta. You ain't rolling with the Lord, then you gotta. On demon time, then you gotta. You ain't a friend of mine, so you gotta.
So you see how I act up? You see how you be having me acting up in the car? That was one of the only times. That was only one of the times I was awake in the car with Angee. Other than that, I'd be asleep.
Wow! Oh my gosh! Thank you so much. I love that.
I'm like, I was shaking back. I thought I was bouncing. Both of them have the right beat. I'm like, am I supposed to be looking back and doing it? No, I can't do it. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? But anyway, I'm a fan. I already told you.
Thank you so
Kim
much.
said you gotta give Angee some. Angee got some rhythm. I'm telling you, she be fooling y'all. She's fooling y'all, just trying to play. Yeah. What did Kim say about me? She's like, what did I do? Yeah, you see how y'all roll it out, ride out. Watching it. Okay, I'm gonna have to put on my glasses just to do it. But the funny part is, I like music, right? I can't sing. I never. Hey, maybe I need to try rapping. But I understand if you can sing, you can rap, or no. If you can rap, you can sing. No.
Nah. Nah, I can sing in the shower.
That's what I said. If I do a song, I'm gonna have to be talking in it, or do some rhymes. But I can't sing. One time, John P. Key was doing a musical, what do you call it, workshop overseas. And at the time, I was married to the Air Force, so we were over there, and he came over to do a gospel workshop for the mass choir that the chapel had. And he has a great ear for music, right? So he's just walking by everybody. And when he walked by me, I would kind of get quiet. He's like, come here. He could already tell I was going to be the troublemaker. He's like, man. He said, what do you sing naturally? He said, talk to me. He said, you're an alto. Why are you in the sopranos? I said, well, I'm a sopralto. So if I'm in the sopranos, I can pick up alto and tenors. He's like, get over there. Get over there with the alto. He was cracking up. He said, do not move. Stay over there with the altos. Yeah, just stay over there. Oh my God, it was hilarious, but I had to share that. So y'all understand, I don't,
Sean P, he didn't lock the doors on you, did he?
No, he didn't. He was very kind at that time.
Okay.
And it might have been because he was overseas dealing with the military. I don't know. But he just put me on the alto side and told me not to move. Told me to stay right there. But okay, we said we're gonna get some help, right? We're gonna get some help.
Yeah.
So the first thing you have to do is recognize it. Recognize you're in a traumatic situation, and you're in a trauma that you have bonded to. I think that's the best way to say it. A trauma bond is a trauma or a hurt that you just bonded yourself to, just stuck like glue. How to understand that you're in it? The first thing is to identify what it is. It's a cycle. From what I understand, it's a cycle. They will hurt you, then they will apologize and appear to be sad that they hurt you. And I have a theory, Bert. I have a theory that sad that they hurt you, but at the same time, they're offended that you're hurt. That makes sense?
That's true.
Because they kind of they want you to take it, and they want you to understand what they've done. So they're offended that you hurt, but they're sorry that they hurt you. But then on the other side, they're offended that you're even heard about it. Like, get over it already. And my mom used to say, now my mom was something else. My mom used to say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. The best way to have someone to understand how they've hurt you is for them to experience it. Now, I can't say that, that's not a biblical concept, you guys. That's Betty Jean talking. That's not. That's the Betty Jean talking. She was something else. Beautiful woman. My mom was half Native American, half Black, right? And beautiful woman. But when I tell you her temper was unchecked, she would fight man or woman if they made her angry. So she always had this thing, you do it to me, I'm going to do it to you. You will understand how bad it hurts when you feel it. She said it's kind of like a kid touching the fire. You can keep telling them to stop touching it until they touch it. Do they understand this thing hurts? And maybe I shouldn't keep touching it. So you guys, I'm not saying do that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's a bad idea. But it is true. Sometimes people don't see it until it happens to them. And then they're like, wow, is this how I made someone feel? This is horrible. So once you recognize that number one is recognizing what you're in, calling it what it is. I think that's what most people say, right? Recognize what it is. Even in Christianity, you have to recognize you have sinned to ask for forgiveness. You have to recognize what it is, right? That's the first thing. Coria said it sounds like her mama. Yes, girl. Them mamas back in the day was like, look, I'm not going to turn the other cheek. I'm going to turn yours if you slap me. That kind of thing. My mother would, she wasn't a church lady. I'm just going to say that. Number two, build a strong support system. I think you had it. You had it with your current wife. That was your best friend.
I did. Yes, I did. I'm so thankful because if not, I probably wouldn't be here. I mean, and once again, it sounds crazy, and a lot of men won't admit that. But men go through it just like women do. You get into these relationships and it's like you lose yourself in it. Like I look back on it now and it's like, man, how did you let yourself get that far? But I mean, you care about somebody so much, and you just start losing yourself, into that person. So in your eyes, they can't do any wrong, even though they're doing wrong.
And like I said, my hat's off to you, brother, because a lot of times I'll have women on here and we'll share openly. But I think you have to be sure of who you are and certain of who you are to share and be vulnerable to help somebody else. So my hat's off to you. And another thing I love about you, Bertie, you did not stick a pin in that and say, I'm done. All women just want to do this. All women, because women and men do that. We have some sisters right now who are so hurt. They can't heal enough to be good for anyone. They have been so hurt by the trauma that they're allowing that rascal to keep them from finding someone who loves them like you have to. Like you have. Oh, see, that's my song. Was that me again?
Yeah, my phone.
He said, yeah. Todd is saying you have to detox from relationships sometimes. Like, and I agree with that. Sometimes you have to pull away and allow yourself to really go inside and see who you are. And ask the question you just asked a while ago, Bertie. How did I allow myself to get into that so I can make sure I never do that again? I never do that to me again. So getting those good relationships. And when you say detox, did you feel like you detoxed from negative relationships? Or if I can ask, did you just jump into a new one, but because that relationship was healing, it helped you out?
So, I mean, it did help because it was healing, but really, the thing that got me the most, and I had to step back and look at myself because it was like a pattern. I get into relationship after relationship, and I put so much onto that person that, when something would go wrong, it would just send me into this down spiral. And it really took a lot of prayer and for me to understand. I prayed about it, and I do remember this specific conversation of God answering the prayer when I asked, why does this keep happening? And the response was, you keep putting people in a place that I'm supposed to be in. Like, you're not supposed to have nothing in your life is supposed to be higher than God, whether it's, whoever or whatever. God should be first, right? That's the way that I was raised. That's the way that I was taught. And that's what really worked for me. Everything kept failing because I was making the person that I was with at the time my God, and it would fail. The moment that I got out of that cycle and I started including God and I put God in that relationship is when me and my wife really started hit it off. We started dating, and the rest is 12 years later,
So you put things in proper perspective, because that's what it's saying. Number one, recognize it. Number two, get some help. You had that in her. And then they say develop healthy coping mechanisms. And I'm going to circle back to what you said and what Todd said. I found myself in that same cycle. I was married. I tell it because I need people to know. I love love. I love the idea of two people who mutually respect each other coming together. So I did it again after again, but I didn't give myself that healing time before. I have now, but I didn't get it then. Kelly says your feelings cause certain chemical releases in your body. Being in an abusive relationship causes stress. Stress causes release of cortisol in your body. That's true. I am sorry and the hugs causes a release of dopamine, which kind of heals some of that hurt, a little bit of it. And then you continue that cycle because, I got healing for that hurt, and let me go back and now I'm okay. But then you get hurt again, and then you get a hug and you get a kiss and I'm sorry. And it's like, it feels like they really are sorry and you don't want to end it. So you end up back in the thing over and over and over again. Hey, John, my tribal brother just popped on. Gravy people need gravy. Okay, you don't have to explain that.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that one out.
Okay, are you
gravy people need? Hey, okay.
Oh, okay. So only thing I could think of, I just ate breakfast not too long ago, and I had a biscuit, and I wanted honey for mine, and then somebody else said I can't have a biscuit without gravy. I just want gravy. He said he don't need to explain it. But
fun with it. Okay, bro.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely have fun with it. So we're gonna John. But so with that being the case, number 3 says develop a healthy coping mechanism, and the number one thing under that says practice self-care. Engage in stuff that brings you happiness, that makes you feel good about you. And then you can challenge negative beliefs. So let's say the trigger for me was him bringing up, oh, you have a pooch on your belly. Maybe if you tighten that, have you ever thought about tightening it up? It was starting to bring self-doubt to my head, right? And so I'm not going to tell you how I got my confidence back because that's irrelevant. However, the point is, I had to think about that for a while. So when that subject came to me again, first of all, I showed him himself, because it's like, bro, you don't have a six pack. Why? And on top of that, when I met him at 19, had not had any children, any of that, skinny as a rail. It was always like a little pooch here, not a big deal. Every people no one else probably even recognized it. But I think I kind of said something like, hey, I have never had washboard abs. I've always been athletic, track star, cheerleader, drill team, all of that stuff. But, he wasn't like anyway, we're not after hours yet. So.
Right.
Let me just say some things that I desire was missing too. Let me say that. So anyway, set boundaries. I do not allow anybody anymore in my space. That's kind of what I was saying to you. That would make me just go into that deep place. Because when you're in that deep place, Bertie, I don't know about you, but I never want to experience that. And I never want anybody else to experience that. Because you do feel like, what am I here for? So until you know what you're here for, you might question that. Like, what am I even here for? I can't even love right. I can't even get reciprocated what I'm giving out. You can start doing a lot of negative self-talk if you're not careful. But this is another thing. It says, allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to feel it. Understand what it is and feel it. I think that if you're allowing yourself to do it, and that has been my downfall, I would say, if anything, because I'd be like, they blame it on me at being a Pisces. It's like the cutoff game is strong. Okay, next. What's up? You don't allow yourself to really grieve and to feel that thing. You'd be like, okay, that didn't work, next. And you keep moving. Kelly said, yes, I'm thinking she's doing that. Can you think of anything else that helped you move on and not blame your current spouse for what you experienced in the past? Because that's a lot of things that happen as well. He said, enjoy each other like breakfast. See, my brother then went all to the food. I don't know what he's doing over there, but I'm going to show up.
I'm going to keep this PG. I can take that to a lot of different places. I'm
going to invite him to the Red Cup Talk that we're going to have.
Right. Now,
He going to kick it off.
I just put myself in that position. I thought about it, and I didn't want to bring anything into a new relationship that I was experiencing. So I did before we started dating. I allowed myself to heal. I gave myself time to heal. And it's important not to treat another person or to hold grudges against somebody else because you've been through something. You're carrying all that baggage, and you're hurting the person that you're with, and that's not fair to that person.
It's not. And I say that's why you got to forgive the other person too, because whether you know it or not, you take it into your new relationship. You really do. That unforgiveness causes you to point out other people's faults and stuff. And Todd was saying to him, grieving equals detoxing. He's saying detox yourself from that. Get it out, get it all out of your system, yourself.
You have to.
And grieving allows you to do that. How to not get back into one is to educate yourself, to learn what it is and recognize the signs of it. And that is, I think the number one sign is probably not believing who that person is when you've had an experience already. 2, I'm not saying you have to say, okay, 2 times, you are never going to change any of that. But you have to really make a decision in how much time and energy you want to commit to someone changing. And ask yourself the question. I started telling people this. Ask yourself the question. If this person I'm with never changes anything, is that good enough for me? And if the answer is no, you're gonna have to go let it burn. Let it burn, let it burn, let it go. If it's not gonna be good enough, you're wasting time. It's insanity. Am I not right? It's insanity. Repeating the same thing, expecting different results.
Over and over. Right.
It's insanity. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this. It says prioritize your needs. When I started dating this time, I told my guy that I wanted to feel like a priority this time. I didn't want to feel like I was second, third, fourth, fifth option. I want to feel like a priority. And I think it's important to tell someone what you want to feel and how you want to experience them. And build a strong sense of self. I wrote the book, Self-Love. It's not about just getting your nails done, going back and letting somebody wash your hair, and getting your beard done. It's about taking care of your heart. Because out of your heart, the life flows and
this is
goes.
Life, right?
Yeah, it's like taking care of your heart. Kimberly said, I'm good. I'm liking my peace. And then that's the other option. If you know relationships, or you really feel like relationships are not for you, stay in that and decide that's what you want to be. But I say, if you want relationships, don't allow a bad one to keep you from having a good one. Who is that person that they have that kind of control over your life for the rest of your life? Do you really want to give somebody that much control over you? I'm never doing that. Never doing that. So I think healing says it's about me. I have the power to choose good relationships. I have the power to be in a good energy and a good vibe, and I'm going to attract who I am. And so the next time someone comes along, they're not going to have to pay for the joker that messed up, who fumbled the ball. I'm going to give them the game plan, and we're going to roll with it. But it's not fair to, tell that new person that is a quality person that somebody else that didn't deserve it have ruined you for them. Think about how that is. Yeah. That's crazy. To me, it's crazy. So
it is.
What else can you say would help with that situation? If you had to give somebody advice on how to get past that bad experience, but remember it, if that makes sense.
Love yourself. You have to. I mean, you really have to love yourself. And once again, I keep saying it is easy to get caught up into those situations where you're putting whoever it is, you're putting so much onto them. Like you're thinking so highly of them that you actually lose yourself. You have to love the person that's looking back at you in the mirror. And once you start doing that, if you love yourself, you're not going to let anybody disrespect you or hurt you. You're not going to do it. You protect yourself at all costs. So I had to really, I had to start loving myself again.
And I think that's so cool, Bertie. I ask people to come outside of themselves. The stuff you won't do for you, imagine you are your child. Imagine you are your son or your daughter. You ain't gonna let nobody treat your son or your daughter like that. Don't let them treat you like that. I ask men who have daughters, would you want someone to treat your daughter like you treat your girlfriend or your wife? If you don't, you need to check yourself. Woman, do you want another woman treating your son like you treat your husband?
Like that. Yeah.
If you don't, check yourself, because we would have a whole cow if our son was being treated like we treat our man sometime, or vice versa. Daddy's daughter being played with, abused, made to feel messed over every kind of way. He'd be having a whole fit. But you want to do that with the woman, and you're going to reap that stuff somewhere. That ought to scare you enough to say, I don't want my baby to deal with this. So let me make sure I'm right, and I'm treating somebody else's baby right. You know what I'm saying? I'm treating somebody else's baby right. Because it's going to come back. It's going to come back home. I promise you. You're going to reap what you sow somewhere. And so in that, we had about 15 minutes to round this thing up and to say, as recovering trauma bonders, we've learned something very important, and we said it. I hope you guys caught it. Love you enough to protect you. To protect you. And it's nobody else's responsibility. Not even your spouse. It's not their responsibility to protect you. It's yours. You're grown. So, Bertie, advice to men. I'm going to give the advice to women. Advice to men on in a trauma bonded relationship, it's even harder, I imagine, because men don't want to admit it.
Mm-hmm.
How would you address that? And it happens. So I'm glad you're sharing that now. So what would be the number one advice if you can go back and dig into what you experienced to share with the fellas?
Number one, admit it. And don't feel bad about it, because it's more common than what you think of. Like, a lot of men won't talk about it and stuff, but I know there's men out there that's in that situation. So number one, admit that you're in that situation, and then two, like I said, love yourself. Love yourself. Don't feel bad about it, because we as men, we feel like we have to be hard all the time. You have to be tough all the time. You can't show any type of weakness or any type of emotions, but that's not true.
No.
Do what you have to do to get out that situation, because it's not a healthy situation. And it's one that, if it's serious enough, it could wind up getting you hurt or hurting somebody else.
Very good. Thank you for that. And on the women's side, I would say, number one, what he said, love you enough to protect you. Women are such nurturers, such caregivers, and such servants naturally. Now, they might give it in the wrong place, but they're naturally that. And I say, pull some of that onto you. And someone told me years ago, don't you think you deserve happiness? I mean, you're working for theirs or his. You don't think you deserve happiness? What makes you happy? Right. Somebody has to be bold enough to ask you that question and then step back and let you figure it out. Because people don't resist change. People resist being changed. That's different. When people want something different, trust me, they're going to go for it. But they have to know that they deserve something different and that they can get it to even want it, if that makes sense. They can get it to. Yeah. So that's my advice. Love you enough. Start focusing on how I can show up better for me. And then people will show up better for you. Because if you don't love you, why should I? Why should I? If you don't love yourself, why should I? So any other bits of advice for the opposite, making sure you're doing the opposite as a man, making sure you ain't bringing some trauma and leaving that, I wouldn't say leave that drama for your mama, but your mama, trust me, I'm a mother of boys. I don't even want it. So,
you hit it on the head, right? So, I mean, would you want somebody, and when you said that, that just resonated, because that's really what changed me. Like after I had a daughter and my daughter got older, that really changed how I behaved and how I moved. You don't want anyone disrespecting or doing your daughter wrong or doing your son wrong. So, just look at it like that. If you're a man and you're treating a woman like that, then just ask yourself that. Or would you want somebody treating your mom like that, treating your mother that way, doing the same thing that you're doing to this woman? Do you want somebody doing your mom like that?
No, they don't. That's what I'm saying. They tell you they don't. They'll tell you they don't, but then they'll go do it.
Absolutely not.
I think the realest I could be with them is, you're going to reap it somewhere. You may doubt it. That's like saying the laws are not in place. That is the season we're in, reaping and sowing. It's going to come. What you sow, what you plant in is going to come up somewhere. Trust me when I say that. So when I tell guys that, they're looking at me like, oh, do I really want that? Somebody said, use your discernment and don't ignore your gut in any relationship. Yeah, your gut is that spirit that comes right here from the core. And that is where you're like, something told me. Yeah, it was your gut. It told you. Todd says, when you love yourself, you put forth positive energy. Energy can be destroyed. It can't be destroyed. It can only be manifested. And blessing is that positive energy manifested. Why you got to go deep this time?
I love that. That's true.
That's my sweetie. Thank you, babe. That was good. So this is the thing. If you're out there and you do want to get out from under this, there is some ways to do it. First, you got to acknowledge it. Find somebody that might understand you and talk to them. If you really want to get out. Now, don't call me if you want to stay in it and you want me to give you a reason to stay in it. I'm not going to be able to help you. But if you're ready to make a change and it's something that has been an abusive cycle for you, talk about it. I don't know. I can't volunteer Bertie, but I can say, find you a brother or a man to talk to brothers. Ladies, find you a sister, talk to them and tell them what you're in and be open to listen. Don't just be out there just talking. I had somebody who would tell me all the time, the horrible things they were going through and this and that and that. And I need a way out. Okay, let me help you. This is what we're going to do. And I'm going to help you do this. I'm going to help you do that. I go talk to them the next day. They don't even remember telling me that. And now it's all loving and kind. Oh, he would never do that. And I'm going, okay, I know I'm not crazy.
Right.
Tell me yesterday you had to call the police on this man. And now you're mad at me because I'm saying when you leaving? That's what I don't do anymore. I've learned that can get you killed. That can get you killed messing with somebody else who never plans to leave. And I think police officers will tell you domestic disputes.
I was just getting ready to say it. I'm a former police officer, and that is the number. That's one of the biggest things. When you go to a domestic situation, you have to watch out for the person that made the call. Right, you go there and you're probably about to arrest their loved one, and they turn around and do something to you. So definitely be careful. Yeah.
Yes. So I've learned, and we're going to wrap this up, but I have learned how to properly steer away from that, how to love that person and let them know you're there, but not to allow them to dump all of that stuff on you when they're not going anywhere. And they will do it week after week, day after day. They will just tell you how horrible they have it. And I'm like, if you're going to stay in it, you look crazy. Just stay in it. Don't bring it to me, just stay in it. If you're ready to get out, you guys then have the conversation. So we're going to wrap it up. And I'm going to say, Bertie, if I invite you back, especially on a Red Cup Talk after hours, are you going to be willing to just jump in here and we're going to...
Oh, yeah, we can. I'll get a disclaimer. Anybody that listen to my music, I'm human.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's what makes you real and relatable. That makes you real and relatable. I think anything else is fake. I shared this. Absolutely. We're about to get off. Trust me, Angee, we're about to get off. I shared this. I'm a biblical study person. So I do know I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. There's a difference.
Right.
So when Jesus met the woman at the well, remember, he was asking her for water. And he was going to give him water. And he was like exchanging with her all this conversation. She's like, why are you talking to me? People like you don't talk to me. We worship here, you worship there. He said, look, there's going to come a time when the real worshipers, it won't be the place that they worship. It'll be out of spirit and in truth. So out of spirit and in truth, we talk to you about things that really matter. Straight talk from the heart about not allowing abuse, how to love somebody without losing yourself. All of that is our terminology and human experience, but it's still all biblical, solid biblical principles, or, what I'm saying, universal laws of love. It's still there. So any closing remarks you want to say, my brother, before we jump off here, or before Angee pulls this up like this?
Right. No, just once again, thank you for having me. I've been a fan of the show. I've always enjoyed the show. The conversations, they're always good. Love you, love what you do, and thank you. And hopefully you will bring me back. We could conversate more.
I will. I'm gonna have to get down to Mississippi and be standing in front of them red trucks and red Mercedes Benz with the red cup, like, hey. So I will be wheels up in a minute. So anyway, if you guys want to talk to us, you're interested in being a guest on the show, or you're interested in having me come out and do some real talk with you or a group of people, just hit me up, Pat Nash LLC at Gmail. Send me an email. One of me or the team will grab it. And with that being said, you guys, thank you, Bertie. I love you. I appreciate your music, your message.
Thank you.
And they said, I love this real talk, you guys. That's Grace. Amazing Grace shows up. Lonzine, oh, my baby. She said, thank you, Bertie. So with that being said, you guys, he's coming back. We wish you love and light, peace and blessings always. Good night.
All right.
Backyard parties. It's your boy Tony D on the radio. You know what time it is. Let's go.
Hello, everyone. This is Pat Nash of Pat Nash Talks, where we have the conversations that create real relationships. I'm here every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us right here on Level Up Nation. See you then.